Well, good evening, Race Spec fans, and welcome to our Euro Series round 14, penultimate race of the championship of Season 5. Armchair Bike is your champion, but Marine in second place is defending from Instant and Fioretto, just 13 and 14 points behind, with Prime chasing fast for the third place in the championship as well. In terms of constructors, we see Aston Martin on 300, McLaren on 281, Williams 244, and Mercedes on 228. And yeah, thanks to everybody for rejoining wherever possible, because we've had a minor glitch with the build of the server the first time, but we are underway. The drivers are out there already, getting some early picture of the laps, and I've been told that we have got now rain at the end of the race forecast at the moment. So the first driver out there at the moment is Michiel, and we'll be able to follow him along on his first laps. Here he goes then, tackling down the main start-finish straight, which has quite a kink in it. In fact, the first turn is recorded as this left-hander in the Made in Italy, under the Made in Italy bridge, into Traguardo chicane, followed closely by the famous Tamburello, and a short straight down to turn 5 and 6, the Villeneuve chicane. Big step out of the power in the second part of the Villeneuve chicane. That seemed to surprise Michiel somewhat. We're into Tosa, turn 7, as we start the long climb up the hill towards the Piratella, a fast left-hander right at the crest of the hill. Easy to invalidate in that blind entry. The McLaren thankfully gets out the way just before we head into the treacherous Acqua Minerale, and watch for that one in the rain on the blue painted surface on the outside of the turn. It's awful. Then we're into Variante Alto at the top of the circuit. Avoid those yellow curbs like the plague, and then it's just the double left-hander to come of the Rivazza complex. Very similar to the Lesmo corners at Monza, but of course to the left instead of to the right. Rivazza being dealt with by Michiel on the power on the exit curb. You can ride these curbs. They're not 2021 spec really. Michiel goes temporarily fastest, but quickly deposed by Alex Pato on a 14.8. Tidal Wave just starting his lap, so let's join someone who's actually running fast. I think Armchair Bike has put wets on. I don't think he's actually going to run on wets, but as our series champion, he will be trying to run from the back. An issue there for Rogue Flash, one of our reserve drivers, just getting to grips with his Red Bull, and some more laps coming in for you with Tidal Wave. Dr. Trupox, Alex Pato's teammate, goes second at 15.4, but that early lap from Alex Pato looking very good. Radicals was not impressed to see drivers making a mistake there the host making a small error in building the lobby. Because he put in a nice time. So Marine now second in the championship, as I mentioned, probably going to hold on to that one unless he has a couple of bad races against Instant. Armchair Bike retires from the session on wet tyres. He's just gone round, put a setup on, and retired. Marine a 14.511, stamping his authority down on the rest of the field here. No such last to first challenge for him. Prime goes P8 on a 15.7. Prime sticking on the medium tyres for now. I don't know if that's going to change on his next lap. Who else have we got running? Tidal Wave gets a 15.6. Epical Andrew a 6th place, good enough 15.5, and the field is very close at the moment, certainly between P3 and P9. Out there on a lap is Stitch currently. Stitch just got 2 corners to go. This is Rivazza. Be great to live in one of those houses overlooking the Rivazza corners. Away to the line goes Stitch then, a 19.0 is very slow indeed. I imagine Drax will be a little bit quicker than that. Drax just heading towards the Villeneuve chicane now. Left then right, 5th gear, and we go to Tosa. The closest thing to a hairpin although the approach does not really lend itself to any moves. Right at the top of the hill, it's Piratella, and we plunge back down to the Acqua Minerale. Difficult trail braking into the second part of Acqua Minerale, and you'll see cars over onto the blue paint. It takes a large amount of entry curb. That's very reminiscent of the Hungary mid-lap chicane for me, for Variante Alta. Then down the hill again to Ravazza. Dealt with safely. Away then to the line for Drax. What's this time going to be? Only a 17.0 on this early stage. It's Radicals with a great first lap in his in the aborted lobby. Tidal Wave apologising for forgetting about his quali ban, unfortunately. So he's put in a 7th place start. Alex Pazzo will have to adjudge what the correct punishment is for Tidal Wave. Does he let the whole field by lap 1? Or does he serve a drive-through? I'm not entirely sure. Oh, Radicals just overstepping on the way through Piratella. That's ruined this first lap, and he's going to be so angry if he doesn't get a good lap in this new lobby we've just rebuilt. Fioretto then on a lap. This is Piratella, a lone left-hander. A lot of chicanes in this track, but Piratella is one of those turns that's just on its own. Through Acqua Minerale, using that exit curb to good effect to hold the car on the track. Through the Variante Alta goes Fioretto. Get an idea of what his first lap looks like in just 2 corners time. Away to the line then goes Fioretto. Where will this sit him? Up to P10, a 16.271. Not going to set the world alight, but safe for a banker lap at least. Be pleased with that. Epiclandri just getting out of Michiel's way. Michiel on his next lap attempt here. This is the Villeneuve chicane. And an invalidation, and not for the first time we've seen that tonight from our drivers. Michiel just getting that one wrong, unfortunately. I think Dr. Trupox has invalidated, sadly. What about Jack? Is Jack currently running? I know Marine's out there on an outlap, as is Prime. In fact, Prime has just started a lap, so it might be worth watching Prime instead and see if he can get himself up onto the front row, especially with Armchair Bike out of contention tonight, doing a last to first challenge. He's retired, although Radicals and Passion Jack not helping that last to first challenge currently. Yellow flags heading into Toza as Jack gets out the way of Prime. Prime deals with Toza nicely. Quick downshifts into Piratella, just 2 of them. Acqua Minerale, Prime looking monstrously fast into the entry, but he'll need to leave a better margin in race conditions. Purple middle sector for Prime so far. I think this one's going to be pretty hot. Prime all just on the outside of the circuit, but holding on to the lap. Not quite sure how he achieved that, but he'll appreciate that slight favour from the racing gods. Prime then just within track limits, pushing to the absolute edge and off to the line at P4, 500ths faster than he'd been before, but still some 6/10 away from Marine's lap, who is out there running again but is unfortunately invalidated. Radicals has put in a 3rd place good enough time at 14.9, but he knows there's more time to find, although different track conditions right now. And reminder that we are expecting some rain at the end of the race, so it's definitely worth sticking around for that. Ryan's here watching along. Hi to Ryan, good to have you with us. Michiel then puts in a lap, 15.183 on P5, splitting the Mercedes pairing. Marijn is currently trying an extra lap. He doesn't want to go hugely fast here because these are his starting tyres, so he might scrub them. A new fastest first sector though, 1.5 tenths faster than he'd been before. He's currently 3 tenths faster than Alex Pato. In goes Marijn to the Acqua Minerale, using the left-hand side of the track as he approaches Variante Alta, riding that first apex curb significantly, which is a risky game, but with high risk came a high reward from the exit speed. Down into Ravazza he goes. And Marijn then heading for the line. What will this be? Even quicker, a 14.0. Ryan claiming a 13.524. So he would be leading this if he got that, if he strung that together. But time trial is different to quali, of course. You will lose a few tenths depending on the conditions, and it doesn't look exactly optimal out there at the moment. Ravazza for Epical Andrew steps out just from that one and unfortunately invalidates right at the death. Tidal Wave goes slightly faster, P10 for him. Drax, the highest medium runner so far at least, and is going slowly. So nothing doing for that. We've got 5 minutes to go. All the first runs are dealt with, and it's Marijn second in the championship, leading the standings, leading the grid order from Alex Pato and Radical. Then Prime coming in fourth, Michiel, Tommy, Instant, Trupox, Andrew, Tidal Wave, Drax, Puretto, Rockin, Flash, Ferry, Stitch, Jack, and Armchair Biker at the back. And if Jack can't get a time together, it's not going to help Armchair Bike with his last to first challenge, our current and reigning champion. Although I have to say, news to me that he runs auto gears, so make of that what you will. Marijn is a quick driver for sure, but he's usually fighting Armchair Bike. Getting the car through Acqua Minerale goes Furetto. Presumably with a name like Furetto, it's a home race. But unfortunately, home advantage not giving any margin there over the curbs for Variante Alta, making a mistake, and that's the end of that one. I don't know if Drax is actually pushing on this second lap on the mediums. The medium tyre will give a strategic advantage if he can get himself inside the top 10, otherwise it's a waste of time. So currently P11 with free choice of tyres for Drax. It's just looked like a push lap. Quarter of a second faster than he's been before. That's marginal as to whether he'll make it into the top 10 with the final run still to come. Looks like Alex Pato on track as well. We'll catch up with him shortly. Let's see this sector time come through from Drax. Gets past Stitch, and it's quicker, but he's lost a little bit of time in that second sector, unfortunately. So he's going to need a mighty final sector to get himself up into the top 10 and make these medium tyres work for him. Needs to better this one. Nice short run to the line here. Almost rubs the pit wall. Only 11th for Drax, a 15.581. Where is Alex Pato at the moment? Didn't improve on that previous attempt, and I think his qualifying run is done. Dr. Trupox is a quarter of a second faster than he's been before here in Sector 1. Going towards Acqua Minerale now. So there's a football stadium on the inside of the track here, isn't there? I think that's why you can see the floodlights to the left. Dr. Trupox surviving this lap. We've got a full course yellow effectively right now. different drivers getting out of each other's way. So Dr. Trupox sprints for the line on the soft tyres. Any better this time? Yeah, a lot better. P4 and 3.5 tenths better than he's been before. Brilliant stuff from Dr. Trupox up to P4. I think that's his qualifying done and dusted. Marine, Radicals, Prime, instant all on outlaps. I think Andrew has, unfortunately he's invalidated. Drax is taking the scenic route back to the pits, just getting out of everybody's way. Jack has got a time on the board. Up to P13 with a 15.7. That does leave Armchair Bike at the back, and Stitch has retired from the session. Jack's not going quickly right now. So I'll keep an eye on who is actually out there. I think Radicals just started a lap, hasn't he? Let's ride with Radicals through the Traguardo chicane and then Tamburello. Fateful Tamburello, of course. Now the Villeneuve chicane. Perhaps needed a touch less speed on entry, but he's gained time on his previous best. Through Tozer he goes and up the hill towards Piratella. Just a couple of downshifts, drag the car to the apex, hang on to it for grim death through the exit, and before you know it you're into Aqua Minerale. Oh, tiny shade inside the line, and there he goes. Angrily retires from the session. I think he should have gone to the pits with that one, unfortunately. Looks like Alex Pato is retired as well. What's Prime up to? He's 1/10 quicker, and this could get him one place. He could get up above, I think, Dr. Trupox on this current pace. I don't know whether the drivers will have done a lot of practice here, so he's gained now 2 tenths, a tenth per sector, and he's got a purple medium sector. Epiclandru was just bonsai'd the Variante Alta, and Prime did well to avoid him. I'm assuming Andrew had an issue going through there, and that was not just trying to cut the course. Prime, if he's held onto this one, it would be a heroic performance across the line. 3.5 tenths faster and up there to P3. What a great place to start the race for Prime. Especially considering that issue that Epiclandru had on track right in front of him. Marine's going no faster. What's Ferry and Rogue Flash up to? Ferry is on a lap and will get to finish this one if he can just keep it valid. No one else is able to defend, so the track at its absolute best. The final lap of qualifying, I think, will be with Ferry. Oh wow, just feathering off the throttle enough through the corner to hold on to this lap. In we go to the Variante Alta, and out we come. Not particularly quick, but it's all about how he's done versus his rivals. Down to Ravazza he goes. This should be our very last lap, and it should be the track at its best. Here we go then. No, into the pits he goes. Unfortunately, that's not gonna carry anything. F1 Fanatic is here for Drax and says let's go Drax. Drax currently P11, which is a good place, I guess, to start the race. If you can't make it in the front 4 rows, definitely a good place to be. I'll keep an eye on the Discord chat and let you know if anybody gives me a nice debrief of their session. But Ferry into the pits, unfortunately wasn't able to capitalise on that traffic-free run right at the very best of the track. And here's our starting grid. We have the Dutchman Marine in the Williams, appropriately enough for events of the weekend. Williams on pole position, leading from our Italian Alex Pato in the Alfa Romeo, 3.5 tenths slower than Prime. Instant Radicals, Trupox, Michiel, Tommy, Epiclandru and Tidal Wave start, all of them on soft tyres. Starting on free choice of tyres will be, starting with 11th, Drax, then Rockin, Jack, Firetto, Rogue Flash, Ferry, Stitch and Armchair Bike, our reigning champion, starting from the back. Stitch is saying not his day today. Well, the race is certainly not run, Stitch, and we know that that you can always recover a bad qualifying with a good race. So positive mindset and attack, maximum attack, as our Finnish F1 drivers often say. Let's go for it. It's bright sunny out there at the moment, but we are expecting rain at the end. So it's definitely well worth sticking around to the end. Rain in Imola is definitely worthwhile a watch. So as the drivers get themselves ready for the formation lap, will be underway very soon. There's one of the fans there has got a hood up. I think that's a fashion statement rather than a declaration of the weather. But sharp shadows right now indicating a nice warm track for our race start. Mixed conditions, and it's always interesting to see how the drivers deal with changing strategies on the fly. Marine then leads them away on the formation lap. A reminder that our champion armchair bike will start at the back. Armchair bike just revealing to us that he drives with auto gears. Yeah, perhaps a target for armchair bike, having won 2 successive championships, maybe to try and spend the off season learning manual gears. Stitch will start 17th, and then Ferry in 16th. We have Rogue Flash in the Red Bull with his teammate Fioretto in 14th, and then the Ferraris together, Jack and Rockin, with a triple of the Passion teammates together, 12th, 13th and 14th. Then Drax driving for the APSR team, and Tidal Wave in the championship leading McLaren team. Andrew will start 9th, and as I say, hoping for a better outing than last week. Tommy starts 8th, then Michiel in 7th, Dr. Trupox, the second of the Alfa Romeos, in 6th place, and Radical with a 5th place start, a slower qualifying time than he would like, so I'm sure we'll have plenty of opportunity to move up the field. We've got Instant in 4th, right close with Prime, who is chasing him down in the championship. Prime looking for 3rd place in our championship. Then Alex Pato in 2nd, just looking for strong results and podiums now at this point. And Marine trying to get that gap to Armchair Bike in the points standings to be a little bit more respectable after 2 pretty awful races for him. Drax says wasn't enough for him in the top 10, but he'll take the fresh tyres. Yeah, good stuff. I suspect as much. Good place to start, I say. If you can't start in the top 5 or 6 cars, good place to start is 11th. So on free choice of tyres, and he's gone for the mediums. A mixture of soft, medium, hards have been chosen by the tail of the field. But we're already about to get underway. It's 5 lights on, it's lights out, and go, 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 with the Williams leading away from the front. Alex Pato getting away well as well, and really a very mixed, very fixed situation at the front. Everybody getting away fairly evenly. Prime keeps 3rd place from the Alfa Romeo. Looks like, oh, Radicals turns round in the chicane. I'm not sure if he fell or was pushed, but Radicals, the big loser out of that one, and the front 4 start to get away from the rest of the field. Michiel is up with his teammate now with a small gap, and then we've got Andrew, Drax, Tidal Wave, Dr. Trupox and Passion Fruetta exchanging places, yeah, real drama for Radicals here, and he's going to be driving very angry indeed at the moment. Although the race is young, we have 32 laps for you on this very short Imola track. Armchair Bike already, wow, has got almost past half the field. He's almost got half the job done here. In fact, make that, yeah, there he is, getting by, I think, for P10. Is he? Yeah, there he goes. P10 for Armchair Bike. He's got 10 places in a single lap. Obviously gaining from Radicals, but wow, incredible stuff from our champion. Up to P10 now, but obviously the leaders getting away, especially with Moran getting the fastest lap first off. Alex Pato is half a second back as they approach Traguardo for the 2nd time. Passion Instant is very, very close to Prime here. All of these drivers on soft tyres and needing to bed those tyres in and treat them gently as we head down towards this is Villeneuve chicane. Running wide goes the Aston Martin. The pit stop strategy predicted soft hard, lap 10, soft medium, around lap 9. I'm not convinced, frankly. Welcome to anyone just joining us for the race. Good to have you with us. Do let us know who you're here to watch. Or if you're one of our drivers, let us know what happened. All of our drivers are still running, although Rockin has visited the pits. That can't be plan A in the pits already, and it looks like issues for Ferry, for Tommy as well. He was quite close to his teammate earlier on. I did see his teammate joking that he should take out one of the Williams cars on the track. Prior Armchair Bike up to 8th, and he's almost up there with Tidal Wave, his teammate. Absolutely monstering this first phase of the race is Armchair Bike, and he chose those soft tyres. He's now running with the soft tyre starters in the top 10. Absolutely amazing stuff from Armchair Bike. He's going for that last to first challenge. I wonder if he'll be done on the last to first challenge. What lap will he actually get up to the top of the grid? You know, he's done this twice before on our championship this season. Come from the back, including the previous race, coming from the back to win the race. Radicals gets a 3-second time penalty, one of our first penalties, although I think Ferry beat him to it tonight. And we have a double wave yellows for a Red Bull. I think it's Rogue Flash with a problem there into the Villeneuve chicane. Looks like he's back running though safely. If we look from Tommy, who's also had his own drama. So let's head back up towards the front. I think Armchair Bike is now mighty close to Tidal Wave. Tidal Wave not making it super easy, but Armchair Bike passes him on the outside going into the Variante Alta, and that has got to feel pretty embarrassing if you're Tidal Wave at this stage to watch Armchair Bike get by. But I guess you might take some pride in the fact that you're selecting your own gears. I don't know for sure what Tidal Wave's opinion on that is, but Dr. Trupox very close here to Tidal Wave. Now that DRS is enabled, we've got a bit of a DRS train starting from Armchair Bike's car as he starts to close in to Epic Andrew. So Dr. Trupox not helped by that fact. Armchair Bike is very close here to Epic Andrew. Let's see if he makes a move into Toza. He brakes early because we've got a safety car. We've got a retirement on track, but I think it's Marine for the third race. I think in the row, Marine has a massive issue on the early laps. What on earth has become of Marine and his form at this point in the season? Incredible stuff to see him out of the race already, and we go, yeah, indeed, to a retirement, but we have a pit lane problem from a retirement as well. So a glitch occurring and causing issues. Tidal Wave says he was letting his teammate by. Fair enough, but why? Why are you letting your teammate by? Surely you want to be up there with him as well. You want to be fighting with him now. I guess for the point's sake of the championship, Alex Pato goes into the pits from second place. Prime instant Armchair Bike goes on by, and there he is up to first. Last to first in 5 laps goes Armchair Bike, obviously helped by a safety car who he needs to brake for quite suddenly, but he's up there already. Tidal Wave says my teammate is faster than me. Yeah, fair enough. All right. It takes a big man to admit that, but it's I guess it's true. Certainly this season, but yeah, looking for best points for McLaren, I'm sure, and they currently are 1-2. Now, strategically, have the top 3 missed a trick by not pitting here, or is it actually a better situation to rely on perhaps a later safety car? So the race order completely changing here, as I say. Armchair Bike with a last to first challenge, and he's already there in lap 5. Armchair Bike leads from Tidal Wave, Dr. Trupox, Fioretto, Alex Pato and Prime. Then Instant, Andrew, Michelle and Drax are your top 10. So I wonder how long our safety car will be out for. I imagine that the field spread will contribute to that. Ferry is some distance away, at 5 of 32. Not very deep into this race just yet. So all but the front 4 cars have pitted already, and they will be hoping to gap the field quickly on the restart. No one else on soft tyres, so that should help initially. I guess I know that it's good for McLaren if Tidal Wave's pace is fully exploited, but I don't know, if I were the crowned champions teammate, I'd feel a little bit hard done by if he wasn't supporting my championship points bid rather than me just getting out of his way. But I'm sure that the McLaren team have organised this ahead of time and are well aware of what they're doing. Whether Armchair Bike would move aside for Tidal Wave later in the race, I'm not sure if that's quite in our champions mentality. I have to see. No, I've picked a new house. It's that one. It's that one in Tosa, rather than the ones on the outside of Ravazza. I like that little cottage inside the infield of the Tosa hairpin. Safety car is with us at the moment. Ferry still hasn't caught up the back of the grid, so this helping the soft runners continue on and stretch their gap. But of course, as the laps tick by, they're still wearing their tyres down, maybe a quarter to a third of the rate that they normally would. Oh, interesting to see Armchair Bike get a penalty. It's usually the opposite way round, but Tidal Wave has got one as well. So that's caused an issue for the McLaren team, who have got a little bit too close doing their tyre weaving. They've both caught 5-second penalties. The safety car will be in this lap, but that's definitely opened things up a little bit for our race. It's certainly spiced things up. They'll have to serve 5-second penalties in the pits, both of them. So perhaps the McLaren teammates not quite on the same page as they had predicted. Wow, Fioretto having to bail and get right out of the way. They've got another one. Sorry, Trupox and Tidal Wave have got another one, have they, as they restart? Yeah, Tidal Wave now with 10-second penalties. Off they go. Alex Pato gets by Fioretto in that whole confusion, and into Traguardo gets by Fioretto, absolutely mullered by the Alfa Romeo team pairing of Trupox and Pato. Trupox getting by Pato here, but letting his teammate back again. The difference in tyres showing a little bit there. Oh, off goes Epicalandru and has retired from the race. He speared off out of Tamburello, and out of the Villeneuve chicane, and that was his race run. Out goes Epicalandru and will not be classified here. Prime and Fioretto side by side on the way into Acqua Minerale, and we know how quick Prime is into that corner, making the most of these fresh mediums against Fioretto's mediums from the start. And it looks like actually instant getting by Fioretto as well. Fioretto has been monstered out of position. I think he's lost like 7 places in this restart lap alone. Amazing stuff to see. Yeah, Epicalandru out of the session. That leaves Jack and Rockin promoted up to 11th and 12th, just up ahead. Radicals trying to get around the Red Bull of Fioretto here, but Fioretto just about holding on. Another 5-second penalty for Armchair Bike, ignoring a yellow flag. I didn't even see where the yellow flag was. Must have been on the approach to Villeneuve chicane that Epicalandru caused, but this leads Alex Pato to... Oh, interesting to see Armchair Bike has ghosted as well. I wonder if he's left the session or he's temporarily disconnected. I'm not entirely sure. Very unusual to see that situation unfolding. Alex Pato then, as Tidal Wave gets by Armchair Bike's AI car that is ghosted. It's not going to help his challenge here tonight. So it's all drama as Alex Pato and Tidal Wave get up to P1 and 2. The other way around. And are starting to stretch the field. Prime in 3rd place, just 6/10 back. DRS yet to be enabled. This is the 2nd lap off the restart. Yeah, as Roscoe says, that we think he might have left the session. Unfortunately, that looks like our champion has actually left the session. A 3-second penalty for Alex Pato. Was racing without penalties, now catches a 3-second one, and with the difference in strategy after the safety car, that's not going to help his race. But he has got up into 1st place now, getting past Tidal Wave on those medium tyres as the soft tyres start to degrade and drop off. So hopefully Armchair Bike will rejoin the session. I'll try and keep an eye on that, but it's difficult when you're watching the action to stay with it. Prime is really close here to Armchair Bike. Will have better braking grip. Armchair Bike on the defensive and swings across the track. Not really, Tidal Wave, not really leaving racing room on the outside of the track where Prime was, and Prime had to back right out of it. I'm sure he will have an opportunity here to get past as the DRS takes effect. Tidal Wave drifting in the middle of the track. Prime on the inside. Will he close the door to Armchair Bike? Yes, he does. And Prime through to 2nd place. 2nd to Alex Pato, who has got away up the road. They pitted under the safety car, and currently those soft tyres looking very much worse for wear against these newer mediums. Tidal Wave dropping backwards now. Tommy gets by. Is he passed by Armchair Bike? Armchair Bike rejoining the race, and he's battling with Tommy right now. Has he actually rejoined? Because he seems to have disconnected again. He still isn't actually with the car. Maybe he's about to resume racing in a solid car. Not quite. I'll try not to pay too much attention, but this is he's left again, I think. Yeah, internet problems, presumably. Again, Tidal Wave, this time losing out to a driver on the same strategy as himself, and now crowding out Instant, who's got a better run out of the Variante Alta. Gets the inside into Ravazza, but Tidal Wave on the better line through there. Again, elbows out, and is it time to pit Tidal Wave? No, decides against it, but I think Passion Instant will be on his gearbox, though he's got to look in his mirrors at the moment, because here comes the Haas driver on the outside of Drax. Drax getting round past the braking point, and Drax into 5th place. That was a very good move, but Tidal Wave losing control into Traguardo and Tamburello. Tidal Wave way out of it, facing the wrong direction. He's going to need to reverse pretty quickly, otherwise he'll get disqualified. So from leading the race, the two McLarens absolutely in dire straits, and now Tidal Wave down to 13th place. It really was 1 lap too far on the soft tyres. 9 laps was absolutely the maximum I fancy, especially after the safety car. Tidal Wave just cannot hold on. His tyres are overheated, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a frustrated retirement on its way. Let's focus on where the racing is happening, though. Dr. Trupox in P3 has caught Prime. I've lost my intervals, unfortunately, but you can see visually that Drax is now on the ascendancy. Beautiful move on the hard tyres from Drax. Round the outside into Ravazza, and that one will definitely be worth a replay. Drax up to the podium positions, and Dr. Trupox heads into the pits. Had enough of the soft tyres, nothing to fight with, just as Tidal Wave had exactly the same problem. Looks like Armchair Bike is back with us, and back up to P7, comfortably past Rockin for P7. Good work from the champion. Up the road, Tommy is close with Radical. Radical recovering fantastically from that lap 1 spin, but at the front it's Alex Pato who's gapping the field significantly now, nearly 6 seconds ahead of the rest of them, with Drax in 3rd, and Alex Pato on a good strategy currently. I think he will have to stop again, whereas Drax and Instant may not. on the hard tyres, but all will depend on the rain that is expected to be coming in a few laps' time. I really hope you're enjoying the racing with us tonight. If you are, please leave a like and follow us on social. Subscribe to the channel and support the output in any way that you can. If that's leaving a positive comment or pressing the thumbs up button, it costs you nothing, but it's really good for us. So if you're enjoying the commentary, you can follow me on Twitter at WebberRed5, and I hope to see you on Twitter if at all possible. Instant 6/10 back here from Drax, with the advantage of DRS nullified somewhat as Armchair Bike gets the fastest lap of the race. Armchair Bike has got old softs on. His AI drove with those tyres for a short while, and Tommy made a mistake as Armchair Bike got by. That means Tommy getting demoted here just as we saw Tidal Wave. I think Tidal Wave pitted and has put hard tyres on, and credit to Tidal Wave for continuing in the race with us. I think he's avoided damage and is able to get going again. He made it round to the pits, and yeah, all credit to him, because no one would have blamed him for retiring after that disastrous spin. Let's see where the McLarens can get to, though. Let's hope for our sake that they can get back into the race. Alex Pato on lap 13 leads by 6.1 seconds now from Prime and Drax, with Instant just behind. It's a three-way battle. A DRS train behind Prime, as his medium tyres are competing with the same age old hard tyres on the two cars behind him. Drax can't really get to within range of Prime. Prime typically driving without penalty, as is Drax, and Alex Pato, I think, with just a single 3-second penalty. You can see Armchair Bike has got 10 seconds added up. One for an accident that was probably not his fault, his teammate running into the back of him, and another one that was apparently ignoring a yellow flag. If he needs to pit again, he will end up paying those penalties and not be able to have them removed later. Drax very much closing in here, as we see a problem for Michiel, and well, at least back and forth passing going on between Fioretto and Michiel. We have a yellow flag in sector 1. It's an Aston Martin. It's Michiel who has had an issue coming out of the Villeneuve chicane. I don't know. Yeah, he's getting back underway. Alex Pato living with that 6-second gap. It's a very comfortable gap to have, as Drax now on the attack on Prime. I'll be waiting for Prime's tyres to drop off. Prime takes the middle of the road, as is his right to do, on the way into Traguardo and through Tamburello. Gaps Drax a little bit here. If you drive in the middle of the race, in the middle of the track around Imola, you can hold off other drivers quite comfortably. It's a very narrow place to go racing. Armchair Bike back up to P6 now, and like I say, with a 10-second penalty to pay off at some stage. Tommy gets a penalty. You just saw a small wiggle from the Mercedes in the background, and unfortunately that will add 3 seconds to his race time. Just have 3 surviving drivers at the moment through this race without a penalty. It's a very easy track to get those penalties on. Stitch gets another one. Tidal Wave gets by Michiel. Behind, as Michiel is in the pits, I believe. Drax just moving around behind Prime, but Prime was not put off by that at all. I believe this is Michiel. This is Tidal Wave ahead of this battle. Yes, it is. So he's been lapped by the leader, Tidal Wave. Tommy and Armchair Bike are fighting somewhat. Armchair Bike dropping back again. He's lost his front wing. Well, this has not been going to script at all for Armchair Bike. No front wing on that car. So it looks like another unscheduled pit stop, although he's run those tyres very, very long. Obviously the AI ran them a little bit, but perhaps one lap too much again. 15 laps after some under the safety car. Too much for Armchair Bike. He's keeping the car on the track very commendably and keeping running, but a long way to the pit box for Armchair Bike. And unfortunately that's again another issue for a McLaren driver tonight. Drax is half a second behind Prime, make that 3/10 as they approach Trogrado, but it's again no way by for him. Armchair Bike pitting. Will he continue racing with us or not? Of course, that is his desired time to pit for mediums. He'll be able to run to the end on those. He'll be paying off a 10-second penalty and having a nose change. So it's a lot to do for Armchair Bike to get a result out of this one. The battle at the front continues though for the second place here. Drax in between Prime and Instant. Instant with a slightly heavy use of the apex into the Variante Alta. Down to Ravazza they go. Lap 18 of 32. We see 15 runners remaining after losing Andrew Marine and Rogue Flash. But Alex Pato leads by 6.5 seconds from Prime, Drax and Instant here, all running together. Drax never been as close as he is right now to the back of Prime, but unfortunately that's too close. As they go through Triguardo and Tamburello, he loses a whole lot of momentum. Behind Instant comes Radical on a strong recovery after a first lap incident. Then Tommy, Rockin and Jack. Ferrari's moving up very well through the race so far. 5 places up each. Dr. Trupox down 3, and Ferry has got into the pits, having made up 6 places, as has Armchair Bike overall from the back. But Armchair Bike, that doesn't tell the story of his race. He's been at the back, he's been at the front, he's lost his front wing, he's been given a 10-second accrued penalties, and now he's back fighting in P12. So doing it with a lot of drama tonight is our champion. Alex Pato laps Stitch now, I believe. Stitch now down in 13th, and I think Alex Pato is going to start approaching 12th place to lap. 13 laps on those medium tyres. They stopped under the safety car, so it's going to be a long conservation run for them to try and get the mediums to the end. Certainly going to be aware of the tyre usage that Drax and Instant will have less worries about, and perhaps that's why Drax is staying with Prime despite being in the dirty air. A yellow flag in sector 3. I don't see a car actually stopped. Oh, it's an Aston Martin. Is that Michel having an issue again? He's headed into the pits at the moment. 5-second penalty. Will that be shortly followed by a retirement? Yes, it will. Michel giving up on this one, but doing it the right way into the pits. Shame to see Michel go. We now have 14 runners. And here is Drax, just behind one of the lapped runners here. AlphaTauri of Stitch, I believe. And he's just dropped outside of the 1 second gap that he needs to Prime, so Prime can take a short breather. No, he's just caught back up using the DRS, possibly from the lap car ahead. So he's just caught back into there. Looks like an Aston Martin has causing a yellow flag on the way into Triguardo, but I thought he'd just retired. So Face Stitch picks up a penalty, in the background, just running wide. As you see the Haas front wing looking somewhat mobile under the suspension load. Trax and Prime are going to fight this one throughout this race, I think. Lap 20 with 12 to go. Alex Pato now 7 seconds up the road ahead of the battle for second place, involving Drax and Prime, the only two drivers in the top 9 without penalties, and Fioretto makes it the 10th. So we'll see how the drivers on the mediums, the front two, manage to survive this one. How deep can they go? Can they go another 12? It's a big ask. Or are they just waiting for a safety car opportunity? Alex Pato, almost half the length of the start-finish, not really straight, is ahead of the field here. Drax just cannot get by. Prime just cannot close up sufficiently into Ravazza to make a move all the way down towards Traguardo. Both drivers very, very careful here not to trip over track limits. What else have we got going on anywhere else on the track? Armchair Bike in P11 on medium tyres now, catching the hard tyre shod Fioretto. I would imagine will be by pretty quickly. Armchair Bike making a habit of getting by in unconventional places. This time he uses the DRS to get past before the start-finish straight is done and dusted. And Armchair Bike now up to 10th. And I wonder how much further he can get in the remaining 11 laps of this race on an ideal tyre strategy. Soft to medium, very late stopping. Perhaps you would argue 1 lap too late stopping on the medium, off the softs for Armchair Bike. Alex Pato from the lead on 16-lap-old mediums pits for soft tyres. Now he has blinked first, and that's somewhat unusual. It will hand the impetus to our leaders here. Will Prime try and go long, or will Alex Pato recover? It depends where he comes out. He's come out about 4 seconds behind the car in front. That should help him to put in a good outlap, as Radical pits as well for fresh softs. So it looks like this is the point the mediums are starting to go off for the drivers. Drax running wide. We have 10 laps remaining of this one. Remember, they'll be trying to get to the point at which it starts to rain. They are expecting rain at the end of this race. With 10 laps to go, you think perhaps Prime will want to hold on to those mediums until he needs to change for wets or inters and the rain starts to come. But at the moment, we've certainly got bright sunshine still. Let's ride on board Prime and see if there's any clouds approaching the track. None visible down the start-finish straight, at least. Let's see, Drax has dropped back again through Ravazza, just can't seem to get close to Prime. Prime using the middle of the road again. They're really not seeing any sign of that rain just yet. And Prime will be begging the clouds to roll in and the rain to start falling. Instant pits behind these guys. So Alex Pato gets another free place handed back to him. He's now 3 seconds behind Tommy, the second Mercedes. But all drivers potentially will need to put inters on if it starts to rain on them. Ferry gets a 3-second penalty. Just tripping over track limits all on his own, as I don't think Alex Pato had passed him before pitting. Armchair Bike dropping back to 10th for some reason. That's interesting. Not quite sure what the reason is behind that one. McLaren having a very eventful race. And Drax has now slipped back behind Prime outside of the 1 second window through Ravazza. Prime can breathe a little bit easier here. Instant on fresh softs is coming up behind the Ferrari of Rockin. So oh wow, the difference in grip was palpable there. You can see him up to P5 comfortably. That worked out well. Radical with a penalty, unfortunately, and a double wave yellow in sector 2. Looks like the drivers are continuing. That was only temporary. So Trupox and Armchair Bike a little bit further back on the track. We have a pit stop from Stitch this time, and the back of the grid. I wonder if Tidal Wave is driving with a little bit of damage, but what a move from Armchair Bike. Gets up inside Dr. Trupox in the Ravazza complex, and he even keeps DRS. Obviously the DRS detection hadn't been passed before he had passed Trupox. Up to P9 then for Armchair Bike. Alex Pato very close here. Will he get underneath Tommy on the way to Variante Alta? He does, but very carefully dealing with that one. There's only room for one car through there, boys, and Alex Pato needs to be patient here. A defensive move from the Mercedes driver as Alex Pato tries to now put the move on into the inside into Ravazza. Job done. Much better grip for him. Prime pits for the soft tyres, and I think Alex Pato is going to have a comfortable margin over Prime on the way out, but Drax will try and survive this one to the end of the race, or at least until the rain comes. No sign of the rain yet with 7 laps to run as Tommy tries to come back on Alex Pato using the DRS, but Alex Pato uses the inside line through Chiguado, and away he goes. Nicely done. Now it's Villeneuve chicane, and the gap building back up again. More penalties further down the order. Prime has come out into 4th place on fresh soft tyres, 9 seconds behind his teammate, who is running those mediums long. A good time to be on the softs, but a reminder, our drivers might well need to use intermediate tyres at the end. Still no sign of the rain that is predicted at the end of the race. Will it come too late to warrant a pit stop and just mean that the drivers have to drive incredibly carefully at the end? Of course, that will favour these soft runners over Drax, whose hards will cool incredibly quickly. But Alex Pato has got a 13 second gap to make up for, as we've got I think a Haas has left the circuit. I think he's managed to rejoin its ferry as Drax comes to pass. Gets past his teammate, who is off the circuit now, obviously struggling to recover. Drax closing in on Dr. Trupox to put a lap on him. That's 11th place, about to be lapped. So quite a difference, quite a gulf in terms of performance, top 10 versus the lower order drivers. Ferry is having a real struggle here out there, trying to recover the car, similar to what we saw with Tidal Wave. Just can't get the car back under control. Alex Pato gaining a second that lap on Drax, and with 6 to go, that will be comfortable for him. Here comes Prime, has got past his teammate because I think his teammate has made a mistake. I think Tommy has gone off the circuit. I think he might be back on now and getting back up to speed, but I think either in the action of letting his teammate by or making a mistake there, Tommy on these very old medium tyres just can't get them to the rain point in the race. Prime with the fastest lap of 16.392 as he crosses the line with 5 to go now. So we were expecting rain at the end. Tommy has to pit, no option now. He's got no grip. Alex Pato's gap to the leader currently 10.8 seconds, and Prime I think starting to catch Pato. Willis in the chat says, come on Alex, wants a result from Alex tonight. So it's a big ask to get back into the lead and past, and an additional 3 seconds because of that penalty situation. Just to remind you, Alex Pato with 3-second penalty. Prime driving on these new softs is the fastest car on the track right now. Still no sign of this late race rain. And did Jeff get it all wrong and has just thrown everybody's strategy to ridiculous levels? Prime could do with this McLaren just getting out of the throttle and letting him by. I think that's tidal wave. Alex Pato reducing the gap down to 10 seconds, but now just 4 laps to go. Prime wasn't too troubled by the McLaren. He's got a new fastest lap, a 16.376. And that will take some beating, I think. So again, the gap's opening up a little bit. Armchair Bike in P8, closing in on Passion Jack here. Armchair Bike, much younger, medium tyres. Should comfortably get to the end of the race. Say the optimal strategy in terms of tyres for Armchair Bike, unfortunately, it had to come with a massive wing loss, running the softs 1 or 2 laps too long. But P7 from the back, still no mean feat from our champion. Dr. Trupox, another penalty. I'm sure that's a number of times we've read that tonight, isn't it? Yeah, 9 seconds of penalties he's accrued. Only beaten on that count by tidal wave behind him on 11. Double yellow flag in sector 2 and 3. Looks to be, I think, maybe a McLaren with an issue. I think it's tidal wave who's just dropped some time to Dr. Trupox in front. Alex Pato's gap now 8.6 seconds with 3 laps remaining. I think if the rain comes, it will come right at the very death. And let's see how the car's handling for Drax at the moment on these old hard tyres. He stopped quite early, going for the most flexible strategy he could to see this race out, not quite knowing if and when the rain was going to come. But it was a Jeff prediction, so make of that what you will. Off through the Variante Alta goes Drax. He's being quite careful, and well, he might. He doesn't need to push the car at the moment. He can afford a small margin and to cool the tyres. Although, of course, the hards, you do need careful management. If you let them cool too much, they're just completely useless. Tidal wave pits from into the foot of the field and is out again. Wants to run this one to the end. 2 to go for our race leader. Now 7 seconds in front of Alex Pato. There's an off in front of him. It's Dr. Trupox. It's another issue. It's a DNF for the Alfa Romeo drivers. That just come just late enough to avoid a safety car. He's actually on the racing line, is Dr. Trupox. But thankfully, I think because we're in 2 laps to go, no safety car for the drivers. So they'll be grateful at least that he chose lap 30 to crash out and not lap 29. Still no rain has arrived for us, but the gap's quite large at the moment. Tommy is looking quite likely to be challenging the Red Bull of Fioretto ahead of him. Do make sure, folks, before the race ends that you've, or at least when the race ends, that you have liked the video tonight. It's a small way you could say thank you for the broadcast and the efforts we go to. Tommy gets by then into P9, but the penalties are what's going to be crucial at the end of this one. Drax can afford to lose 3 seconds in the next 2 laps and still hold on to the win here. Trupox definitely out, and now being passed by the lapped drivers. Alex Pato in second place. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to catch the leader, even on the road, let alone with these penalties. And he needs to focus on being enough of a gap ahead of Prime to the end of the race. I think he'll manage that just fine. A little bit of counter steering on the way out of Tosa as the car unloads due to the banking. Stitch with another penalty, and he, Ferry and Rockin are competing at the moment for most track penalties. Somewhat of a spurious honour to be receiving. Drax on the hard tyres. It's now slipped another second to Alex Pato, but I think driving with relative control here, he can afford to lift and coast and treat and avoid the curbs and take this carefully. This would be a great win if Drax can do it. I think, let me get this straight, I think for Drax this would be win number 2, win number 2 of the championship if he can bring it home. I hope he can. He's a reliable audience member on the videos as well. I know he likes to watch the stream, and yeah, we'll definitely cheer him on. And hopefully he can do this. 3.5 seconds his gap now, plus 3 seconds though with the penalty. No rain has fallen, and we're halfway around the final lap now. Just Acqua Minerale, Variante Alta, and Ravazza to go for Drax. This has been a very controlled race from the Haas driver, representing APSR, I believe. Drax has been competitive. He's been cautious when he needed to be and decisive when he needed to be. Very mature and balanced race from Drax. Drax then comes out of the final corner and crosses the line to win in Imola, and just ahead of Alex Pato with a great drive, Alex, but and our server coordinator, so extra kudos to him. Unfortunately, not enough to take the win, but Prime gets 3rd place in his battle to outscore Instant, and I think one of the other Passion drivers, excuse me while that name escapes me momentarily, I think Prime also with the fastest lap. No, Tommy's stolen it off his teammate. Oh, he won't be pleased about that one. Radicals gets 5th place. I think Armchair from last to 1st, back down to almost last, back to 6th. And a commendable battling performance for Armchair Bike, picking up some penalties on the way, but yeah, doing a good job. Armchair Bike in 6th. The Ferraris come 7th and 8th, but swap around on the line after penalties. Tommy, as I say, inside the top 10, will take the fastest lap off his teammate, and with his teammate battling for 3rd place in the championship, I'm not sure that will go down particularly well. Fioretto currently 4th in the championship, but only a single point tonight, and that was your Imola Grand Prix from Race Spec Esports Euro Series. Tuesday group driver of the day goes to our champion. He lost a wing in the middle of that drive of the day, but there he is, picking up the win. Drax, the only fault I can see so far tonight is the dancing on the podium. Let's not see that again, but congratulations on the win for Drax. Brilliant stuff. Very well deserved, and his 2nd win of our championship. Excellent to see. I'll let you know if I get any late race feedback from the drivers as to their performances. Let me see, anybody? We've got some GGs. Armchair Bike said his internet went off, but Drax picks up the W as he shows us with his hands. A masterful performance from the German Haas driver. Winning from our Italian Alex Pato, then Prime, the Finnish driver, in 3rd. Belgium's Instant and Radicals comes in 5th. Then Armchair Bike, 2 Italians for Ferrari, 7th and 8th on the home circuit, but led home by Alex in the Alfa Romeo. We've got Fioretto, Tommy in 9th, Fioretto in 10th, and Ferry in 11th with a very instant pack race. Tidal Wave comes 12th, Face Stitch. Dr. Trupox we saw exiting towards the end of the race. Michel, Andrew, Marine, and Rogue Flash, our reserve driver, the first retirement tonight. I'll see if I hear anything from our podium. But we're trying to get some interviews. Interesting that the rain didn't come after all. and I wonder how many drivers kind of relied on that a little too heavily with their strategies. Marco's saying he could have, Alex Pato, sorry, saying he could have reached Drax, but he had the penalty anyway, so perhaps wasn't pushing as hard as possible towards the end. Got a comfortable win for him, for Drax, and a good second place for Alex. Yeah, not hearing from our podium just yet. I don't know if... I'll see if Alex wants to join. I'll just get a quick party set up. See if he fancies it. So bear with me. I'm going to try and get hold of our drivers. One moment while I try and find Drax, who I don't think has had an invite previously. Oh, thanks for that. I'm trying to search for him. He's not one of my live friends, but thanks for that, Alex. Alex, you got second place in the end. It looks like you had a good gap to the car behind, but were you hoping for a win out there?
Yeah, of course I was. I was also hoping for a win at home because, like, I love Imola.
Yes.
And winning in Italy would have been amazing. To be honest, the thing that didn't give me the win, I think it was Drax, who was really good at staying in Prime's DRS train. That was key for him.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I would have caught it more easily than I just did. It kind of sucks not to win after leading the whole race, but yeah, quite happy about it. I don't know what happened to Marin, to be honest. He spun behind me, but I don't know if I'm at fault or something for that. So I don't know.
Well, he's making a bit of a habit of it lately, falling off the racetrack in the first few laps of these races. I don't know if it's the end of season pressure getting to him, but you can at least take home the fact that you got an Alfa Romeo on the podium and that you were the lead Italian in the Imola Grand Prix. Is Imola the closest track to you?
Well, it's not because it's in Italy. I think it's just an amazing track to race at. It's really hard. It's technical. It's fast, and there can be also really hard racing. And I really love this track, to be honest. Even if it was like in Saudi Arabia or so, I would love it the same way. But anyway, now that the guys have joined, GG to Drax because he had the pace. As I said before. That staying in Prime's DRS helped you a lot, I think. Otherwise, the outcome would have been a bit different. But still, GG to you, and see you next week for the last race of the season.
Yeah, congratulations. A good podium there. But must say a big congratulations to Drax for taking home your second win of the championship. So definitely not bad for a reserve driver, Drax.
Yeah, not bad at all. Could have been one more, but I gifted it to Alex in Austria by a dumb mistake. But of course, I'm pretty happy.
What do you think was the key to your victory tonight, apart from staying in the DRS? But how did you make it? It looked like it was only you, I think, and Prime who avoided any track extension penalties. Was that a focus for you tonight?
Yeah, of course. I've practiced a bit on a hard tire, how long they can go.
Yep.
They go pretty much the whole race, and they were a pretty consistent tire, and I've tried to be on the grey stuff and don't pick up any penalties because Alex Pato was pretty fast at the end of the race. My tires were like 70%ish, or yeah, almost a puncture territory. But yeah, the DRS for 10-15 laps straight from Prime was the key to win this race.
Yeah, absolutely. Looked like strategically you absolutely aced it. Even if the rain didn't come that people were predicting, you still had the most flexible strategy overall. Did you have any dramas getting through traffic tonight at all?
Yeah, the first couple of laps, I got a good start. I made up 4 or 5 positions, first 2 sectors, and yeah, a little bit of kerfuffle going on, and had to slam on the brakes, and people were just passing me, and I get was quite fair, but
No, you did a great job actually, and yeah, it was great to see, and great to see you leading the way there. Congratulations on another win, and let's hope for a strong result in the final race of the championship for you as well.
On which track?
Good question. Is it Mexico next?
Brazil.
It's Brazil. Brazil.
Ah, I'm
Okay.
quite good in Brazil.
Another nice truck. Another really nice, lovely truck.
Excellent stuff. I think we are not going to hear from Prime tonight. I think he's got other things to do. But I think Armchair Bike might have joined us.
I did. I don't know. I just got a fight, so.
Yeah, no problem. No, good to hear from the champ. But Armchair Bike, it didn't go to plan tonight.
No, my internet just fucked me, so now I'm P6. Lovely.
Your internet went wrong, but it seemed like you also possibly went 1 lap or 2 laps too long on the softs.
No, it's just the curves are so like it's just ice skating around those curves sometimes.
Yeah.
It's just not fun. But I just took one curve wrong and I spun. I thought, well, this is over, and I got front wing damage, so I did it, and then I went to P6 on the mediums. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I would have won because I got a 1-stop also as like Drax, but I went on the mediums, I think. If I
Yes.
did not take that stupid internet shit.
I was saying you were going for a last to first challenge, and you were in first on lap 5.
Yeah.
Were you? I'd love to see that first lap of yours because you got 10 places on lap 1.
The problem is, I don't got that footage because, well, my internet just fucked me up.
Yes,
So I
of
needed to
course.
restart. I needed to restart with my game. I first joined, so I thought, well, I got the footage. No, I need to restart my game because Codemasters can't fix the game because if you join a game, you already joined a game before. It's very
Yeah.
complicated. You can join, just waiting around, like participating in the game, but then just waiting for 1 hour long.
Yeah, no, agreed. But it is a shame you weren't streaming then live.
No, I
Oh,
don't stream
that's a
live.
shame. That's a
Because
shame.
it's just, if something happens, nobody can see it. You know, like, let it touch.
Although I think
You
it would
need to be
make for
smart.
some good outtakes and shorts videos. You
Well,
just
if
if you're
you
swearing
s-
calmly on the
Yeah. Well, I swear a
on the
lot,
press
so
conference, yes.
I swear a lot with Marine. Marine actually sweared a lot this time, so
I bet, yeah. So what did you hear from Marine? What happened? We didn't see it on
he
stream.
spun. He
It just spun.
He just spun. I don't know. He said, "Oh, I spun,"
Oh no.
and then he swore a little bit.
But also, Tidal Wave managed to hit you under the safety car and then spin
Yeah,
himself later on.
I don't know what that guy is doing. He said he let me pass by, but when I stared in, he still was next to me.
Yes.
So I don't know what he was doing, but I guess thank you for letting me pass half by. But
I almost
Sure.
got pushed off. from
It kind
the
of looked
start.
like a late excuse why he was letting you by. But I say I wasn't sure whether you were planning to support his championship aims or you were just there for the views of a.
the problem
Definitely
is
not.
I had 3 seconds faster than him, so I don't know how I can help him. Like, if I was with Marine, I could help him, but no, I just can't help him, the guy. Nothing against him, but he's 3 seconds slower than me. So I can't do shit for him.
What a showman you are.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I must talk to you.
I sound cocky, but still, it's true. I just
Yeah.
it's same for Alex Pato if he helps Tidal. If he's 2 seconds, 3 seconds faster than him.
Fair enough. I must talk to you about these auto gears, Armchair Bike. Are you going to fix this for next season?
Oh god, well, I'm trying to aim to play with ABS off, but the problem is, it's just so shitty in this fucking Codemasters game. I hate it. It's so...
You can't be consistent with that.
No, you just can't. My mind plays it with off, and also use gears manually. But if I just race against him, I don't see any difference with time winning. I think Codemasters needs to fix it like what iRacing does. Like, if you use assists, you get slowed down.
Yeah, it does seem like the assists are a little bit easy for people
I
this year,
don't
especially
mind.
ABS
I don't abuse it, but I have the pace on those assists. So why should I change it? You know, why should you change our winning strategy?
I don't know. Maybe pride.
I don't care. I want to have fun and not be like, oh, hello guys, I'm Jarno Opmeer, I'm racing in Race Spec. No, I just want to have fun.
Fair enough. Well, yeah, it was good to see you continue racing because, as I was saying on the stream, no one would blame you after that issue, both with your teammate and with the little spin, if you'd have given up. But it was good to see you keep persisting, and as a P6 in the end. So yeah, good to see that anyway, at least, and certainly last at the start to P10 after less than a lap was quite special.
That was a carnage. Like, I thought, well, let's have a shit start, so let's see what's happening in turn 1. I see a Ferrari going full on the grass, spinning round and round like a crazy guy, and then I thought, well, I'm P14. Like, after 2 corners, I think, Jesus, this is something else.
I think there was a moment in qualifying that I'd like to look back on, because Prime was on for a really good lap, and he was just going over Variante Alta, and you just saw Epical Andrew's Alpine coming backwards straight across the front of the car over the top of the hill from the grass, and Prime still got the fastest lap at that point. With that lap, it was very, very cool and collected, but yeah, quite dramatic.
I also got a 5-second time penalty for nothing.
Being hit in the back, right?
Yeah, but then I rejoined. I saw at my time penalty I got 10 seconds. For what?
Yeah, true.
I think it said corner cutting. Was it?
I was wondering.
I was corner cutting 5 seconds these days. What?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes
you can get it, can't you?
When you you can get it but you need to literally cut a corner go straight.
Well, I hope my AI doesn't do that, but Jesus. If that's the AI, well,
desync.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Good stuff. Well, good to talk to you, and yeah, very entertaining watching you racing. Anyway, I'm going to have to go and close the stream down, but you've definitely given us entertainment on the racetrack and in the press conference afterwards. So thanks for that, Armchair Bike, and good luck on the next race for another Last to First challenge, I'm sure. Well, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks to Alex Pato for running the server as usual. Make sure that if you watch along and you're one of our drivers, that you do show your appreciation, because it is a difficult job, and we all appreciate that.
Next time I'll put the right lobby settings. I promise.
Yeah,
there is that. If I delete the first stream, no one will know that it happened.
I once raced with ERS manually, like in F1 2019, on Monaco. Jesus, that was a hell. That was a race spec, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was like with Jordi, that guy. He was the host
Jordi,
back in the day. And in F 2019, we got on Monaco, and I get on my outlap, and I see since when do I need to manage my own ERS? So, yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, nice experience.
Well, good stuff.
Anyway.
Thanks to everybody, and I will catch you on the next race day, and see you soon. Thanks a lot.